Welcome back to The Mailman, the brand focused on breaking the stigma around male body image issues and the mental health impact it can have on you. I don't know if any of you guys watch Married at First Sight, but it's just started in the UK again, not the Australian version, the UK version, and there's an interesting story unfolding, and it's to do with I can't remember his name, I think it's Dean, but Dean is essentially he's a bigger guy. He's someone that's like a really bubbly, fun-loving character. He has this kind of confidence about himself, but it's almost like you can tell he's using that as kind of like a coping mechanism, I would say. Like he's obviously going or had some other issues, but at the same time he's kind of using this sort of humor and fun-loving nature about himself to make himself feel better. Now, there's been a coupling where he's been partnered with someone who, on the surface of it, she's been open and honest about wanting to move away from the bad boy, kind of dickhead sort of boyfriend, partner, and basically find a nice guy. And this guy that she's been matched with and now married to he's like the nicest guy in the world. Like he serenades her, he kind of goes into song to like express his emotion and his feelings, and yeah, that can be annoying, I get that, but they partnered him with someone who wanted the nice guy for once rather than going with the bad boy. And now the story is unfolding that she basically doesn't find him attractive in the slightest because of his weight and the size. And I think obviously his personality and things like that are probably grinding on her a little bit, and I get that. You know, she's not really been that interested in the nice guy in the past, and she's just not used to having that level of probably love and attention from previous boyfriends. So she finds all of his things, his little mannerisms, his outbursts into song or raps, which are, probably have a very cute intention behind it all from the guy, but she just finds it really irritating. And then last night's episode, she basically kind of said to him that she's never been with a big guy, and during his little kind of snippet interviews, he kind of openly said, like, that's devastating, it's kind of knocked his confidence, which I thought was, it's difficult to hear that kind of stuff, because I feel like I can resonate with that a little bit. Like, I've gone through that, growing up being 19 stone, 18, 19 stone, feeling like it was all about looking a certain way to attract girls, losing a ton of weight, just like this guy did. Like he lost apparently like a load of weight back in when he was a bit younger, to attract girls and to feel more confident, and he basically said he turned into a bit of an arsehole. He wouldn't treat girls correctly, and he just felt happier and more confident being a bigger guy, just being more himself, eating what he wants, drinking what he wants, hanging out with his mates who didn't judge him, which is fair play. If you're confident doing that and you're happy with the way you look, and you don't have that sort of fear of judgment, that's exactly what you should have in terms of your mentality and your self-worth. But now this girl's come onto the scene who wanted the nice guy, and now he's slowly going back into these sort of toxic traits, toxic kind of thoughts around, he's now feeling again that he's being judged for the way he looks. And he's had years probably building up his mental strength and resilience towards these types of thoughts and judgment from people, and now he's on a public scene on TV and he's being openly portrayed as, you know, he's a victim for kind of fat shaming. And I feel really bad for him, if I'm being honest. Like, to me it's like it could go down two ways. Either he becomes like some mainstream celebrity who loses a ton of weight and, you know, suddenly becomes like the face of some sort of, you know, fitness trend or weight loss trend or whatever it is, or the bullying from just social media is just going to get too extreme and he's going to go down a really dark path. I mean, either option can lead to a dark path, but I just feel like we've taken a guy, or Channel 4 has essentially taken a guy who's been fine living his life. Yes, he wants to be partnered up and, you know, marry someone that can be his partner for the rest of his life, but they've partnered him up with this woman who's essentially going to ruin his life, and she's going to come out of it being like, oh well, you know, you were mean, but that's basically what society tells us to, is, you know, you shouldn't find, you know, people who are bigger or they have different characteristics to the norm. You shouldn't find those people attractive. And now she doesn't even know it, but she's ruining his life. And we're just going to feel like, oh, feel so sorry for this bloke. But there's nothing we can do, because this was recorded months and months ago. I don't even know what this guy is doing now. I don't know, obviously. I'd love it if I'm proven wrong and she learns something about herself to be able to love and care and open herself up to the nice guy, to the bigger guy, not to the tattooed up, just got out of prison, ex-con looking type of character. But this again kind of shows it's not just social media that's kind of creating this narrative. It's Channel 4, it's other channels, it's TV, it's just entertainment. And you're right, it is entertainment. But I think the more that I've started to get into this brand and the community and the channel, it actually makes me feel really bad for him, because like, I've been through that. I mean, this guy, he you know, he got a holiday with this partner that he's just married to. They went to the Maldives. On TV, you know, he's quite happy whipping his top off, and he's a big guy. Like, he's definitely, you know, he's bigger than I was, but he just doesn't care. He just got his top off, got in the pool, no shame. I could not do that. Like, hats off to him. That was impressive that he just had that confidence. But I feel like this girl he's been partnered with is just gonna destroy him. And I feel bad about that. But this is the world we live in, and that's what I'm trying to break. I'm trying to break this kind of this stigma. Like, why would Channel 4 or producers of this show, they know exactly what they're doing. They're ruining his life for the sake of being entertaining to other people. And I know people would argue and say, well, this is what sells, this is what creates entertainment. But I just feel like they're taking it a little bit too far now, because it's taking completely fine, you know, potentially happy, stable people who have the potential to go down like a really dark route, and they're taking that and milking it and creating a storyline by ruining someone's life. And I just don't agree with that, if I'm being honest. I just find it a little bit sickening. But it's entertainment, right? That's why we all watch it. That's why People tune in, they want to see someone else's misfortune unfold in front of their eyes. That's just the world we live in. And to be fair, that's the same for most of what I talk about. It's you're in a world where people thrive off the misfortune of others, whether that's seeing someone being bullied, seeing someone not succeed, seeing someone fail. That is what people like to see. They don't want to hear about the success stories, or this guy, he just doesn't care about anything. He's so confident. He doesn't have any body image issues whatsoever. He's a role model. No, you want to hear about the person that's killed himself because they've been bullied for the way they look, or the way they sound, or some sort of insecurity. They've been bullied and they've ended up taking their life. That's what sells. That's what sells in the newspapers. Those are the stories on TV. Those are the stories published all over the world, because that is what sells. Anyway, I could go on and on. It's kind of made my blood boil a little bit. This whole thing unfolding on MAFS, Married at First Sight UK. But I'm going to keep watching it, obviously, because I've always watched it, and I do find it entertaining. I just don't like the story that's unfolding, and how the producers have basically created this, and they've allowed two people who clearly don't match to match purely for the entertainment of the UK. Anyway, my name is Punith. You've been watching The Mailman. Thank you again for tuning in. Keep the comments coming in. I'm hearing from more and more of you guys now, which is it's nice to see the engagement, but it's also heartbreaking actually to hear some of the stories that you guys are suffering through, which I hope that videos and content and me putting myself out there makes you feel a little bit more comfortable in your own self, whatever insecurities and kind of body issues you have. I hope you just kind of feel a bit more reassured that you are not alone. We are all built different. We're in this world together. There's no differences in anyone apart from the fact that we're all unique. And there's no right way of looking, sounding, being. It's just, we are all unique. And the sooner that's accepted, the better we shall all be. So until next time, thank you very much. I need the community to grow, obviously, so please do share the messages, comment, like, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.